of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
The tide's in the Great Pacific. We're in San Diego, California, and the crowd arriving for this final game before the All-Star break at Petco Park. As the San Diego Padres host the Cincinnati Reds, it's the final game of a 4-game series, a Military Day Sunday, as we salute the United States Marines on this Sunday afternoon. And good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday to you. Mark Sweeney sitting in for Mark Grant. We'll be back on Friday in Los Angeles. I'm Dick Enberger. Pleased you're with us. Always special Military Sundays.
Always special, and San Diego Padres do an outstanding job saluting the military.
Yeah, they are the best. So the Padres today trying to square this series, 2 games each. The Padres have either won 3 in a row or tied a series, so they're trying to go 5 series in a row without being knocked off. And, of course, they'll have to beat one of the best pitchers in baseball in Johnny Cueto. And this statistic may surprise you, fans. The last 2 years, add up the ERAs, look who's number 1. Cueto over Kershaw, Vogelsong, Halladay, and Kane. Would you have guessed that?
Outstanding names on that list. And Johnny Cueto, if you talk to people around baseball, nasty stuff. And he really deserves to not only be in the All-Star game, but start the All-Star game because he's throwing today. That was Tony La Russa's decision not to have him on the club. Really raises some eyebrows around the baseball, but outstanding stuff. But Jason Marquis really has that stuff as well. This is a grinder. He's really had to reinvent himself as a pitcher. He was a power pitcher when he came into the game. Now he's a sinker baller, relies on his slider as well.
Okay, only 3 days rest. He's done that 4 other times in his career, and actually he's pitched very well 1-1. And I guess as a sinker baller, having a little tired arm isn't a bad thing.
No, it's okay to be not fully rested, because when you're fully rested, you have a little too much on your fastball. He relies on movement and movement down in the strike zone. Also, that devastating slider that's been really good in the Padre uniform.
So it's an interesting matchup. Cueto for Cincinnati, Marquis for the Padres. Well, we're ready for the All-Star break. Certainly would help to tuck away another victory for the San Diego Padres and make that vacation time all the more enjoyable. Glad you're with it. Baseball coming up. Welcome back on Sunday. The U.S. Marines, it's their day to be saluted as all branches of the service. On given Sundays, we had the flyover by the heavy-duty helicopters, and the Marine Band of San Diego with the national anthem, and, of course, the Marine recruits up in the right field corner as well. And now each Padre, as they go to their position to shake the hand and give their thanks to the men and women who represent all of those around the world who are providing us with our freedoms. It's always a great saying on Sundays, and if you haven't during the course of the last few years come out on a Sunday to see a Padre game, you should make plans sometime the rest of the year to enjoy the festivities. Dusty Baker, in his 5th year, has set his lineup. It'll be a little different down on the bottom end. The rookie Zach Cozart leads it off, then Drew Stubbs, Joey Votto, first baseman who will be the starter in the All-Star game, then veteran Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, the leading home run and RBI producer, Ryan Bloodwick, the former Padres hitting 6th, Scott Rowland, who's had back spasms since last Sunday, now back in the lineup, Ryan Hannigan behind the plate, and Johnny Cueto will bat 9th. Cincinnati in day play 20-11 this year. Jason Marquis. The question is, how will he pitch with only 3 days rest? He basically volunteered for the job today.
Yeah, I believe that Jason Marquis just knocked on Buddy Black's door and said, you know what, buddy, I want this start. This is short day's rest. They could have gone with Ross Ollendorf because he filled in that spot, but Jason Marquis really wanted this, wanted to really pitch. It speaks volumes to what he really is as a man, going out there and grinding it out.
And we're set to go. Zach Cozart steps in. And the first pitch from Marquis is in there, a fastball strike at 89 miles an hour. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Sunday fun day. Let's see if it'll be run day for the Padres. One and one.
Big key for Jason Marquis is getting the fastball to have movement down, not side to side.
Reds with 5 home runs in the last 2 games, victorious in those 2. And the count 2-1 now to Cozart. 26-year-old, played with the Rebels of Ole Miss in college. Ground ball sharply to the shortstop. Cabrera across to Alonso for the out. And that takes us to the Padre defense with Maven in center, Quentin and DeNorfia on the wings, Headley, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Alonso on the infield, and young Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. 3 switch hitters in the lineup for the Padres: Grandal, Cabrera, and Headley. Logan Forsythe getting the start at second base. Here's Drew Stubbs, the center fielder. He takes a strike. Broke out of his slump 0 for 32 2 nights ago. Extraordinarily fast. They say in Cincinnati he's the fastest player since Deion Sanders. He showed that last night in a very critical play in the game when he outlegged a possible double play as a run scored, the run being the 6th for the Reds, and that was the winning run in the 6-5 final decision. A ball, 2 strikes.
Oh, what a comparison, talking about speed and Deion Sanders. That is high praise. You can see from the numbers just really lacking consistency for Drew Stubbs.
Growing up, his favorite player, shows you what a veteran Derek Jeter is. That Jeter was the man, and Jeter doesn't take many of those. Strike 3 from Marquis. And that takes us to our Lexus keys to the game, Mark.
Well, it is Wimbledon, and it's finals day for the men's, and it's hold to love. Marquis really has to keep the ball in the yard. These Reds, 35-14 when they hit at least 1 home run in a ball game. 4-hand winners. Let's see the Padres offense come out and really play hard today with approaches.
Maybe have a backhand slap for Cueto, the pitcher, on the way.
I'd be fine with that.
Here is Votto, 349. This is an artist, much like Federer. You know, the great players, there's no false movement. Everything seems to float.
Well, you can see the defense, you know, right center is that they're trying to pitch him away and let him hit the ball in the air the other way.
And 3-0 to the man who has walked more than any National League player. That's a strike as you follow Fox Tracks. Brought to you by Southland Technology.
Outstanding guys over there. Shea, all the men that help him out. But you can see that that's where they want to attack Joey Votto, on the outside corner with movement.
Ground ball up the middle, and oh, what a surprise. Base hit Votto. That is his 100th base hit this year. He does not lead the National League in most hits, but 100 for him. Melky Cabrera has 118.
Well, such a beautiful swing, and that's the reason why you see the consistency with numbers. Jason Marquis, looking at his glove to see if it has a hole in it, he really expected to make that play. Actually surprised he didn't make it.
Brandon Phillips, a hiccup of a slump for the veteran second baseman. Backs away from fastball. He's 0 for 9 the last 9 and only 6 for 36 on the road trip. Votto not a threat to steal at first base, but he's going now. They didn't throw. Oh my. Marquis didn't give him a full look. He was on his way to second base long before Marquis delivered the ball.
Well, as you're holding runners, you have to vary your times. Joey Votto had something on Jason Marquis, takes off. It's usually one of those 1001, 1002 counts, and you take a break, taking a chance with 2 outs. Good idea by Joey Votto. That worked right there.
His 5th steal, so he'll do that occasionally. And that sets it up for Phillips. He lines it to left field. Late break by Quinton, but he makes the catch. A tumbling catch by Carlos Quinton saves a run early, and here it is again. Here come the Padres in the first. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by AT&T, the largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Petco, where the healthy pets go. The aircraft carrier Midway, a great tourist stop here in San Diego, and will be the site for the Carrier Classic in November when San Diego State entertains Syracuse. in the second annual Basketball Classic. Bud Black has set his lineup for this Sunday afternoon. Red hot hitting Chris Denorfia will stop. When's the last time you saw 2 300 hitters at the top of the Padre lineup? I can't remember that in the last couple of years.
Nice to see.
Headley and then Quentin Grandal. Alonso as Cueto delivers to Denorfia. Maben hits 7th, Cabrera 8th, and Marquis, a good hitter, in the 9th spot. There are Cueto's numbers. Add to that, he's gone almost impossible to beat in day games. His ERA is 1.18 in day action. So a challenge for the Padre hitters today. Fastball, 91 miles an hour. Not very tall. It's only 5'10", but stocky, 214. Watch out. That one way back into the lower tier. The fastball, and Denorfia a little late on the swing. That's the Louis Tiant. Show the numbers, hide the ball. Doesn't give you a good look as to the release point, does he?
Well, talking about the Reds, that's the deception that he learned in a bullpen session last year. Came up with it and started doing it more and more with that rotation. He has troubles when he flies open. Tried to close himself. That's something that really has worked for him. Gives him a little more deception.
Denorfia goes down swinging. He's 12 for the last 22, Denorfia. Here's the Reds defense. Outfield, Brian Ludwig, the former Padre in left, Bruce in right, with Stubbs, Speed in center. Roland in the lineup for the first time in the series at third, with Cozart, Phillips, and Votto. Behind the plate is Ryan Hannigan. Logan Forsythe, 3 hits last night after a soft liner to short, 3 consecutive singles, and 2 of them knocked in runs. He gets a slider. Ball 1. Forsythe raising his average up over 300. The more you see, the more you like in this former Arkansas Razorback.
Oh, we talked about Johnny Cueto's deception. He has a fastball, slider, change, and cutter. Fastball, he'll vary the speeds. Good arm action. Location is the big key for Johnny Cueto.
He wheels and deals a fastball strike.
As you can see, movement in the strike zone. Good arm action on the changeup. Just really knows how to locate and really change speeds as well.
2-2. He's only 26 years of age. A product of the Dominican Republic, the academy for the Reds. They have one just as the Padres have an academy in the Republic. He's the first player to make it to the majors. Ground ball to Hopper. He eats up Cozart. Good hands. And throws him out. 2 away in the first, and Chase Headley steps up. Cueto, as we mentioned, has the best ERA of any National League pitcher in 2011 and the first half of 2012, and would have won the ERA title last year, but he fell just 6 innings short of qualifying. He pitched only 150 some innings. He needed over 160. Headley swings and misses. So far, Cueto barely for the Padres get a foul ball off his offerings. And that is a dramatic twist and turn, isn't it? You got to really have your concentration and know about where you think the ball's going to come out of his hand.
Yeah, and with this delivery, you know, you can see deception. It reminds me of Hideo Nomo of the Dodgers. He twists and turns. Very difficult timing-wise to really get used to this, because you're so used to having somebody deliver it in an earlier stage. It's a timing mechanism for the Padre hitters will be the adjustment they have to make from the first at bat to the second at bat.
You would think that he doesn't have enough time to really pick up his target, but as you saw in that slow motion, he does. You know, he has plenty of time. He does that almost complete turn. Here it is.
Well, this is the timing issue right there. He has a pause at the end And then that is the difficult part, because usually you see that arm come out of the glove and rotate. He's had to work on this, but he's had fun with it as well. The Reds people say he has a lot of fun, like Louis Tiant, Hideo Nomo, but he has a lot of deception, as you can see from the hitter's standpoint.
Low and inside, and it must have hit Headley. Yep, caught him down in the foot. So Headley, hit by a pitch, is aboard. First base runner for the Padres.
Well, he throws this slider that hits, looks like his front foot. Chase Headley will say, I'll take that. Saw some pitches, got to time him a little bit, ends up taking first base.
Brings up left fielder, cleanup hitter Carlos Quinton. Had a couple of hits last night and an RBI. Outfield swings around toward left and plays understandably deep for Quinton. Having to work from the stretch, so a little different approach by Cueto now. He has to clean up the twist and turn and come straight to the plate.
Well, much like Joey Votto, the big hitter for Carlos Quinton in the lineup for the Padres, they're going to stay away from him, seeing a lot of steady diet of breaking pitches in this series.
High pop up. Back of the plate, Hannigan fighting the sun. Does he see it? No. And he couldn't have gotten it anyway. It just falls over the screen into the first row. But it didn't look as if, had the ball landed on the warning path, that he really had a beat on it. He was looking right into the sun. How tough is that? You spin, take the mask off, look up, and right into the sun.
Such an uncomfortable feeling. We love San Diego weather, but Ryan Hannigan with the sun in his eyes, very difficult play. It is a lonely feeling not tracking that ball when it's at its peak.
So second life for Carlos Quinton. And a fastball, 90 miles an hour, through it, right through the swing of Quinton. Headley with his lead, 2 out. Got him to chase the slider, strike 3. So a couple of strikeouts for Cueto, no scores. We go to the second. With you. Subscribe to MLB.tv. See every Padres out-of-market game live online on your favorite devices, all in HD. Visit Padres.com to order and get more details. First pitch to Jay Bruce. Tailing fastball, ball one. Bruce at 249 with a lot of power. That's a strike. All-Star last year and again this season. He goes to Kansas City along with teammate Joey Votto and Aroldis Chapman. Saw him last night close out the win for Cincinnati. Hard throwing lefty. 2-1. Another tailing fastball. Bruce, then Ryan Ludwig and Scott Rowland, a couple of veterans behind Bruce here in the second. High fly ball hit well to center. Maben back and at the path makes the catch, a step in front of the center field wall. He just missed that one. You could hear the oohs and ahs when the fans heard the sound off the bat.
Well, if you were watching Mark Loretta today and Mike Pomerantz, they talked about playing the wall. Cameron Maben, the center fielder for the Padres, does a nice job here. Goes back, understands the ballpark, gets back, two hands. That's what I love. If you can do that as an outfielder, that's what you have to do as a youth baseball player out there. Cameron Maben gets back there, sees the ball, squeezes it into his glove.
First pitch to Ryan Ludwig is out of the zone. Ryan is going to celebrate a birthday next week. He'll be 34 on Friday. Takes a strike. Two-seamer caught the outside corner. Ryan with 11 home runs for the Reds. Had his number retired a year ago at UNLV. Hitting Rebel. There's that sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Always wondered why somebody would really go to school in Las Vegas.
He lives there. He lived there.
That's got to be a tough thing. Well, if you live there, at least you can go back home.
That's
you don't have
right.
to worry about the strip. Man, that's got to be difficult. I'm not a huge gambler either.
No, but the tempt all the good shows. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Cirque du Soleil. All those.
Absolutely. Ground ball, chopped to third. Headley with a charge. 2 away. Scott Rowland, our first look at Rowland. Been out of action for a week with that bad back. 37-year-old from Jasper, Indiana, 7-time All-Star, all-around player. A little long in the tooth now. 311 career home runs for Rowland. He was a high school All-America, not only in baseball but basketball in Indiana. So you knew, he had to have a good game. Be an All-American in that state. Line down the right field line and slicing at the pole, and it goes foul.
You know, Dick, talking about Scott Rowland, just one of those warriors that you really love watching play the game. It's very difficult to see injuries that really affect a guy. And he is affected because he's one of those guys that wants to be penciled in the lineup every day. Can't do that. I think Mark Loretta will speak on that. But Mark Kotze's gone through back problems. Very difficult situation to play this game when you're healthy, let alone with the back spasms and all kinds of things.
Yeah, anyone watching and listening out there that's had back problems, imagine trying to hit a baseball or run and field it and twist and turn. Just the actual twist and torque of a batter trying to make contact.
And playing the hot corner over there, reacting, those quick reactions. Just a nice player to watch. Unfortunately, injuries have really slowed him down.
His replacement, Todd Frazier, has been outstanding. Frazier out of the lineup today, but 5 for 11 in the series with a home run and scored 4 runs. 4 runs he scored in the last 2 games, Frazier, but he's on the bench to start today. Rookie. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, with that, Dick, I really think that they need to find out where Scott Rowland is going into the All-Star break, how he responds after this game, and what direction they're going to go. Todd Frazier has done an outstanding job at third base. They would rather have Scott Rowland in there just from his experience alone.
Count now full to Rowland. It is interesting. He's out a week. If he doesn't play today, then he gets the 4 more days. But Dusty Baker puts him in there, and maybe just to see how that back is going to react. Full count. Got him. Took a little off the slider. Second strikeout for Marquis. In order, the Reds go in the second. Grandal, Alonso, and Maben coming up for the Padres. A cold one on this Sunday. To look forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Johnny Cueto will face Yasmani Grandal to open the second inning. Of course, Grandal and Alonso in spring training had a chance to observe Cueto's stuff, but this may be the first time they've ever had to face him. And the first pitch is swung on by Grandal, and a high fly ball to center. Off the bat, looked hopeful, but didn't quite get the heavy end of the stick on that one.
Well, when you see the movement on Johnny Cueto's balls, you want to be aggressive, especially on the fastball. The Padres have done a nice job recently hunting that fastball. He gets the ball elevated, just missed it, tries to get on top of that baseball. Nice swing just underneath it.
And that tailing fastball more out to the end of the bat, so he didn't get the power to drive it over the center fielder's head. Here's Alonso. Ground ball to the right side. Votto will flip it to Cueto. 2 quick outs here in the second. Well, we talk about Louis Tiant, and here is his motion. He had that stair step stop, and he also throws a little head bob into his move. Whoop, there you go.
Oh yeah, with a leg kick. You gotta love that.
Oh, he was fun to watch.
I grew up in Boston, seeing that. You saw Carlton Fisk catching that ball. Man, was it fun to watch. That was a team that had a lot of characters. Fred Lynn in center field. Man, a San Diego resident. Loved Fred Lynn. But that's the deception that we're looking at. You know, very similar to Johnny Cueto today.
Maben, swing and a miss at a changeup. Cueto's numbers are amazing at home in the Great American Bandbox. He's 5-1, a 2.28 ERA, and he's allowed 2 home runs at Cincinnati. Ground ball weakly to short. Cozart hurries at the first in time for the out. Boy, that was a very quick, efficient inning for Cueto. 4:30 San Diego time. And we're ready for the top of the third. Marquis will face Hannigan, the 8th hitter in the lineup, then Cueto and Cozart. For the Reds, no score. Dusty Baker has an interesting philosophy as to how he uses his 2 catchers. Last night, Devin Mesoraco, the rookie, caught Homer Bailey. He also catches Mike Leake. And Hannigan works to the other 3 pitchers so that they have the same catcher every game.
Well, and also protecting Mesoraco as a young catcher.
Ground ball sharply by the dive of Headley into left field, and Hannigan has a leadoff single here in the 3rd. Second hit for the Reds brings up Cueto and gives the Reds a chance to sacrifice.
Well, Ryan Hannigan's been swinging the bat real well. Surprising he wasn't in there last night, just by the glove of Chase Headley. Nice effort by Chase.
So Cueto, who has 10 sacrifice bunts, that's just 1 less than the leader, Capuano, of the Dodgers. That means those hitters in front of him are getting on base. And here comes the 11th try. Grandal's going to go to second and gets one there, and not in time to double up Cueto. Good action by Yasmani Grandal. The ball right out in front of home plate. He pounced and fired to second. A perfect strike.
Well, you're exactly right, Dick. He does a nice job getting out of his crouch, almost beating Cueto out of the box. Nice turn and giving a shot at trying to get a double play. Cueto hustles down the line, but nice job by Grandal getting out of the box.
Yeah, we've already seen in this game, the multitude of demands that fall on the shoulders of a major league catcher, or any catcher for that matter. You're calling games. You're trying to do the best when you're a hitter. High pop fly up into the sun. You got to handle that. Then the little squibber out in front of the plate. Got to handle that and make an accurate throw to second. You've got to be a complete athlete to put on that mask.
And a quick thinker.
Yeah, all the while. That's right. The strategies of the game. Little looper behind second. Forsythe can't get there, and Cueto read it well all the way. He's on his way to third. Here comes the throw across, and he's in there. Hanging on to the bag by his fingernails as a broken bat single by Cozart moves the pitcher around to third.
Well, Johnny Cueto fails on the bunt attempt. Nice job by Chase Headley trying to put that tag on, but Johnny Cueto with a head first slide. Chase Headley keeps the tag on him in case he comes off the bag. But if you're not going to get the sacrifice down, taking that extra base, let's see if that affects Johnny Cueto on the mound as well. Don't usually see that head first slide from the pitcher. Great effort by Cueto.
Good throw by Denorfia in right field, but Cueto able to dig his way under Headley's tag. So first and third with one out as the Reds threatened to take the lead here in the third. Stubbs, the hitter, struck out, took a third strike first time. Tough to double up, but he does strike out a lot. He struck out 74 times. It's just 1 less than Jay Bruce, who leads the team. Good stop by Grandal.
Well, defensively, you can see Everett Cabrera and Logan Forsythe coming in a little bit, respecting the speed of Drew Stubbs. Very tough, as you said, Dick, to double up.
Only 1 double play. He's hit into 1 all year. Infield back. Another good stop by Grandal. That ball skipping low and outside. Joey Votto would be next.
Well, if you're Drew Stubbs, ideal situation, you just peek over your shoulder and see Joey Votto there. You know you're going to get a good pitch. You're looking for something elevated in the strike zone.
Late swing. Fastball was by him, 89 miles an hour. 2-2 the count.
Good movement by Jason Marquis on that fastball.
He wears that camouflage uniform well, doesn't he, Marquis?
Man, and I love the camo uniform.
2-2. Spoils that one. Slider. So Hannigan with the leadoff single through the hole left side. Forced on the bunt try by Cueto. Cueto sent to third on Cozart's loop hit to right. So we're first and third. One out here in the third. No score. And 2-2 the count on Drew Stubbs. He did not go. Marquis tried to get him to go after that slider
Does
away.
He go?
No.
Nope.
He
Held
checked.
up.
He checked. So this is a big pitch, 3-2 with Votto waiting. You walk Stubbs and you set the table for the best hitter on the Reds team and one of the best in baseball.
Mind seeing a slider down and away here.
Got him swinging, strike three. Slider strikes out Stubbs for the second time. Time for the Sequan Casino Daycation highlight of the game, and with a runner at third and only one out, that strike, that K, is a big one from Jason Marquis.
Well, driving that slider, having the confidence to throw it 3-2 with Joey Votto up next.
All right, let's try to pick a weakness in the numbers for Joey Votto. Let's see. Against right-handers, he's hitting .365. Runners in scoring position, .377. Hitting in day games, .353. Oh, there's all kinds of room to get this guy out.
Sounds like he's struggling during the day.
All the way down to .353, and his overall average .349 at the start, and he singled his first time.
Well, they continue to pound the ball down and away.
Boy, look at the lead Cueto has at third. He's taking about a 25-foot lead. Fastball out of the zone, 1-1. A little safer lead this time, Cueto. Now he edges some more. Bottom of the strike zone. 2-1.
Well, Dick, when you have numbers and you look up at Joey Votto's .351, you're going to get those pitches. Saw that a lot with Tony Gwynn. He earned it, staying in the strike zone.
The action pitch, first and third. And he fouls it back, a slider. That was up in the zone as well.
Well, that's elevated. That's danger zone. Joey Votto upset at missing that pitch. Watch his head. All over that ball.
Struck him out. Jason Marquis, some terrific pitching. Digs out a first and third with only one out by striking out Stubbs and striking out Votto.
3 guys now in the middle. I mean, you'll continue to see I don't want to say a rotation, but these guys are going to get their playing time. I don't think it makes sense to have 2 guys play every single inning and have 1 guy sit. They're all valuable. They're all growing as players. They need their at-bats. They need the experience. And, there's plenty of at-bats for 3 guys for 2 positions.
Our Geico quote of the game from manager Bud Black about the 3 young middle infielders. Interestingly, all 3 came up to the big club from Tucson this year. So they've graduated into the big leagues. Foul back by Cabrera with Marquis and Denorfia to follow here in the Padre third.
We have Mark Loretta down near the dugout. Mark, wanted to ask you, with that rotation of 3 guys, you being a middle infielder, how hard is that to really get continuity with the lineup?
You're right, Spence. It can be a little bit difficult, but these guys work extremely hard in batting practice. And I think with the rotation, I think it'll really depend on how Alexi handles shortstop. If he proves he can handle shortstop, then he'll get more time there. Then it will really be a rotation. Otherwise, I think it'll be Forsythe and Amarista rotating at second primarily.
Ball and 2 strikes now on Cabrera. Did you like that, having the, every third time maybe you're on the bench, or do you like to have, the regular shortstop, second baseman, and 1 guy, the utility player that can fill in maybe once every week or so? Reaches out and sends a soft liner to the shortstop. Cabrera is gone.
I think ideally, Dick, you'd rather have set positions, although this day and age it's getting a little more common to see rotations like this. But I think the key is also working with the manager. If Buddy can let these guys know a day or 2 in advance that, hey, you're probably going to be in there tomorrow, that's a lot more comforting to them, and not having to wait till they see the lineup to figure out if they're playing or not.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep the club morale high for everyone. You walk in the clubhouse every day and you look at the lineup card, and I'm not in today. Marquis, 3 for 10 as a Padre, lifetime 192 hitter.
Dick, being a bench player, Mike Gallego actually said to me one time, be disappointed if you're not in the lineup. And it doesn't mean being a bad teammate. It just motivates you to do extra stuff, being prepared for your role. But it's okay to look at the lineup every day and be disappointed you're not in there. Expect to be in there.
Whoa, a shot up the middle. Marquis with a base hit. Padres have their first hit, and the pitcher owns it. Well, Micah Owings is going back to the farm system, and he's going to try to become a first baseman outfielder because he can hit.
Well, Jason Marquis loves it. You can see him up in the middle of the box forward, but taking the ball up the middle of the box. Nice job by Jason Marquis. He loves to hit. When he's not throwing extra bullpens on his off days, he's usually swinging the bat or has a bat in his hands.
Second base runner Headley was hit by a pitch, and now Marquis with the first base knockoff. Johnny Cueto with 1 out. Here's Denorfia, the leadoff man. Pretty good numbers. 550 his last 20 at bats. Home run last night. He struck out the first time against Cueto. The change has him out in front on that first pitch in this at bat.
Yellow, I wanted to ask you too, with Johnny Cueto out there having that little deception. Now he's in the stretch. He really doesn't do it there, but in the windup, how would you approach that?
I think you're right, Swings. You touched on it earlier. It's a little bit like some of the Japanese pitchers, their style, where they have a hesitation move in their delivery. So I think you got to get set a little bit later, and you also don't want to take your eyes and follow that motion. Really focus on that window where the pitch is coming out from.
A ball and a strike. Denorfia. That window being where you expect the release point.
Yeah, you look for that release point, Dick, and it all varies, especially some of these pitchers. They'll change it up a little bit. We saw Bronson Arroyo do that the other night, changing arm angles, but you want to see that consistency of the delivery.
Ground ball to third, backhanded by Rowland. He throws to second for 1, back to first, not in time. Well, if his back is bothering him, he got away with the throwing hard, off balance, twisting toward the line, and he seems to be okay. This would test it, wouldn't it?
You can see the hot corner here, and he gets it off really quickly, gives an opportunity. Good hustle by Denorfia getting down the line. This is the effort that you really need, and he sees Scott Rowland over there. He expects that play to be made.
Not a bad exchange. You get the pitcher off the bases, and a solid base runner over at first in Denorfia. Here's Forsythe. Dino with 6 stolen bases. For you young hitters, Little League, Pony League, the tendency is till you really learn the finer points of the game, as you look at the pitcher, you're looking at everything, and you don't want to do that. Just you got to find that release point and start figuring out where he's going to release the ball. And isn't it quite so complicated in Little and Pony League and younger youth ball?
Yeah, and so many people talk about, well, why do you have success against certain pitchers that are really those high caliber guys? It's because you pick up that release point. Some guys you really don't.
Line drive, but it's hooking foul.
And if you don't pick up a release point, you see it late, you get out of the strike zone. There's so many things that you do wrong, but some guys are so different. It is all perception. That's the reason why when we talk about Joey Votto, his vision, and those elite players that really stay in the strike zone, their vision is so good. They pick up that release point.
It'd be interesting to give him the simple eye chart test to see what his vision might be. They said that Ted Williams was 2012. He, I think, somewhat kiddingly said that he could read the signature of the president of the league on the ball as it arrived. I might question that. About the only thing you would question about the thumper, the splendid Splinter. But when you think about 2012, that means that a normal person would have to be at 12 feet from the chart to see what he sees at 20 feet.
Yeah, and that is extraordinary. When you have that ability, it just ups the ante of what you can do in this ballgame. You could slow things down as a hitter. All good hitters talk about slowing the baseball down because visually they pick it up.
Forsythe took a pretty good pitch there, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count is 2-2. 2 out, and Denorfia at first base.
Well, 2 of Logan's hits last night, big hits, were with 2 strikes. Logan does a nice job not giving away at bats.
That's on the outside corner. Fastball, and Cueto has strikeout number 3. We've completed 3. No score at Petco.
Top of the 4th inning, and the Padres continue to celebrate their military. This is U.S. Marine Corps Appreciation Day, and in honor of that, I'm joined by Colonel Pete Baumgarten of the U.S. Marine Corps. And Colonel, when you see your recruits here cheering and supporting the Padres in the way they do, what goes through your mind?
Well, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for all those young kids who've come right out of high school and they've joined the Marine Corps and they end up at the recruit depot here in San Diego, and then they're brought back to the community by the Padres, and they're reminded that they are from the community and the military is a part of the community and the community supports the military. So I think it's a great opportunity for them as they come into the Marine Corps.
And then those recruits end up in your regiments, which right now are in Iraq and Afghanistan. What are they doing?
Well, we just put a 1st Battalion, 1st Marines, one of my battalions, out the door to Afghanistan, and they're going to finish my regiment's commitment in Afghanistan in the coming months. And then I have other battalions that are coming to and going to Okinawa and doing other training opportunities. So it's really a pretty dynamic time as the Marine Corps shifts its mission from Afghanistan and starts looking in other directions.
Your support and your appreciation does not go unnoticed by the Padres in the community. What does it mean to have them supported here at the game?
I can't tell you how fantastic it is that the Padres embrace the military, particularly the Marine Corps, like they do. They create a relationship with us and a bond with the community that we seek to give back in different ways. But knowing that we're supported by the Padres and the San Diego community helps those Marines stay focused and continue the mission.
Colonel, appreciate the time, and thank you and your regiments for their service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Dick and Mark, back to you.
All right, Layla, the energy of the Colonel, I could see him in front of his men. You'd be motivated.
That's motivation. You can hear it in his voice, can't you?
You sure can. Jay Bruce, after Phillips lined a single to left field on an 0-2 pitch. Bruce a long out to center field, his first at bat. Took Maven to the warning path a step or so in front of the center field wall. No score. Top of the 4th. The single by Phillips, the 4th hit for the Reds.
Mark Loretta down there near the dugout. You know, Mark playing shortstop and second base in the big leagues. This Brandon Phillips, how athletic he is at second base.
He's incredible, Sweens. It almost looks like he's annoyed when the ball's hit to him. It's just so easy for him.
Count goes 2-0 on Bruce. As we mentioned last night, it's a measure of the complete player and a rarity when you win both the Gold Glove and the Silver Slugger in the same year, and that's what Phillips did last year. High fly, and this one hits well again. Will the ballpark hold it? It's deep to right center field, and it is gone. The number 1 home run hitter for the Reds has done it again, number 18, and Cincinnati leads it 2-0.
Well, just a different sound off Jay Bruce's bat. This ball caught too much of the plate, down and in for Jay Bruce, and it's just sounded so loud off the bat. Really traveling on day games. Nice swing. These guys really know how to hit home runs.
And when they do hit home runs, they're 35-14. Not a good sign for the Padres. That's 6 home runs now in the last 2 games plus this one. And that ball is crushed by Ludwig. Way back. Upper deck. Ludwig, number 12. 3-0 Cincinnati. Back-to-back homers, Bruce and Ludwig. And boy, did he get all of that one.
Well, the key for Jason Marquis is to get ahead. Jay Bruce 2-0 pitch. Brian Ludwig 1-0 pitch. Missing location and elevated. Like I said, these guys know how to hit home runs. It's in their mindset because of their home field. Doesn't look like they're having problems on the road as well.
Sharp shot to third. Headley across, and finally an out as Roland retired 5-3. 4th time this year, 4th time that the Reds have hit back-to-back home runs, and that's now 7 in the last 3 games.
Well, we've seen Jason Marquis make adjustments in his starts, even when he gives up runs. His last start in Arizona gave up runs and really shut him down until the last big inning. But Jason Marquis knows how to grit it out and really locate. He has to go down in the strike zone.
Hannigan takes the strike. The catcher singled his first time up. All the home runs, all 7, right-handed. Fastball off the plate, 1-1. They now have hit as a team on the season 96 homers. Padres with 53. Measurable difference. Former Padre Ludwig, who wasn't all that happy about how the ball carried here at Petco when he was wearing the San Diego uniform. That would have been out of most every park, including Yellowstone. Huh?
Well, you know, when they play at a park like Great American Ballpark.
This one is going to send Maben back to the wall again. A step from the wall. He captures Hannigan's deep drive.
When you play at a park like Great American Ballpark, your mindset is, you know what, anywhere on the field I can hit it out. It is a different mindset. In the Padres, on the other hand, are looking for that line drive. When they get on the road, it's almost that feeling of getting there, hey, this is a good place to hit. It's just a different mindset from both teams.
So it's not just the physical differences in the dimensions of the ball yard or the conditions, you know, or marine layer or whatever else. The mind telling you that you're in a certain place and you think home run and you don't maybe swing any differently.
Well, you're always looking for the same type of pitch. You have a plan, but in your mindset, you feel very comfortable in a certain area. When you come in for 3 days, it doesn't matter. You're trying to do the same things you do at home, and their confidence level at home is definitely huge because it really is. I call it Williamsport. It's Little League. It's the best place to hit, Cincinnati.
And you get a day game here at Petco Park, and the ball does, no question, carry better as Cueto hits the ball pretty well to right, and DeNorfia near the line to make the catch. But back-to-back home runs, Bruce and Ludwig after the single by Phillips to lead it off. Bruce, the one left-handed hitter with a home run, and then Ludwig bombs one, 3-0. The great Marine hymn, and we salute the youngsters up there in the right field corner. Alpha Company, 1st Recruit Battalion, Marines and their drill instructors. Chase Headley leads off the 4th inning. The Padres with some work to do, trailing 3-0. The Reds have scored first in all 4 games of the series, and they've used the home run to get on the board first the last 3 games. Headley hit by a pitch the first time up. 1-2 the count.
Well, second time around in the order, you got to solve Johnny Cueto. You've seen him before. Now making adjustments.
Bounces that pitch, a slider, 2-2. Tiant on the left and Cueto on the right as you compare their two deliveries.
Really, the main difference is that leg kick with his left leg, his stride leg. Louis Tiant kicked it up. Johnny Cueto keeps it on the ground.
Headley goes down swinging. Number 4 for Cueto.
Well, they need to really solve this problem, Mark Loretta. The adjustments second time through, what would you suggest?
Well, I think they just got to stay back a little bit longer swings. Looks like they're jumping at Cueto's motion, really chasing his off speed out front. So I would think just let it get deep, try to hit the ball up the middle the other way.
Quinton struck out his first at bat. Change up. Well, this starting rotation for Dusty Baker is really pitching up a storm on this road trip. Every one of the starts has been a quality start, 6 innings or better. That's the best in 8 years, the best run of quality starts. We've seen it in this series from Latos and then Arroyo, who worked the complete game shutout. Last night, Homer Bailey. Cueto strong today. 3-1 now. A changeup missing low and away.
Another question I wanted to ask you too, Mark, is having a base of at bats. Did you like sitting on a changeup or a slider, or did you just go after the fastball and adjust?
Swings, I wouldn't say I ever really sat on the ball or sat on the off speed, but I'd have it in the back of my mind. That would enable me not to jump out and get out in front of it and still, be able to at least do something with the fastball. It looks like Cueto's really pitching off of his off speed stuff, and his fastball is a secondary pitch today for him.
He walks Quinton. That's his first walk. He did hit Headley earlier. Well, time now for our AT&T trivia question for this Sunday afternoon. How many times was Hall of Famer to be Barry Larkin selected to appear in an All-Star game? Well, that's got to be in double digits, huh?
Well, another one of those players I have the fortune of playing with in 1999. That elite player at shortstop. Man, what an outstanding all-around player. Athletic at that shortstop position, but he also on the turf. Man, was he fun to watch field his position.
Yeah, he could make some plays, couldn't he? Grandal flied to center his first time. Fastball. 92 on that one. The Padres down 3-0, but one swing away from getting right back in it. Cueto now having to pitch from the stretch, and does that take a little bit away from him? One would think so.
Well, it's an adjustment. That's the surprising thing in the windup, doing that paused motion and then having to make an adjustment with the stretch. You can't really afford to do that because everyone would be running on you. They'd be stealing bases left and right. So he has to quicken up his delivery, but he seems to make that adjustment.
That's a little looper in left field, falling in a hurry for a base hit. And a hit for Grandal. So 2-1 as Quinton moves to second, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate, Yonder Alonso.
Well, Yasmani Grandal continues to impress. This ball's elevated, but running away from him. He takes the ball, hits the ball where it's pitched. Out of his 10 games he started, 7 hits in those 10 games. Outstanding job getting on top of that baseball. He really tries to do that, and it's benefiting him with all those hits.
So Alonso steps in with 2 on, only 1 out. Fastball inside, ball 1. Those remarkable shots, trailing the ball on home runs and on that single. Mark Gleason is our cameraman. He is terrific. I don't know how they do that. I mean, if you ever gotten behind the camera, look in the lens there, and you try to follow a ball, Ground ball right side. Double play chance. Phillips, Cozart, Votto. And the inning is over on the 4-6-3 Cincinnati double play. Cincinnati 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, have left 3. Padres no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and they too have stranded 3. And time now for our AT&T trivia question answer. How many times did Barry Larkin make it to the All-Star game? 12 times for the shortstop.
University of Michigan guy. Our executive producer Jeff Bile would be happy with that. I'm sure he was a fan favorite of Barry Larkin.
Even though he was at that other school that he couldn't get into Central Michigan, so
that's right.
He went to Eastern Michigan in Ypsilanti. But Jeff has done well since. Good education there. Used to call them the Hurons. Chopped to third. That's going to be a fair ball. And Headley taught Lonzo for the out as Cozart retired.
You know, guys, talking about Barry Larkin, his last All-Star game in 2004 was my first, and that was one of my favorite memories of my career. Is I had my locker next to Barry, and he couldn't have been classier. He was a tremendous guy, and as a shortstop coming up, I really looked up to him.
There are the numbers of Larkin: 2,340 hits, a lifetime 295. How many Gold Gloves did he win? Slider for a strike. Foul ball as Stubbs trying to use his speed to beat out a hit. He struck out twice. Padre games are more fun with a group, you know that, and you can bring groups as small as 20 here to Petco and enjoy big savings, special seating, scoreboard welcome, and much more. Petco offers several exclusive group facilities to fit your specific group needs, so reserve your tickets or private suite by calling 619-795-5555. Those folks out in right center field have their own sandbox suite. $5, not a bad ticket, huh? As Stubbs strikes out for the third time.
You know, Mark, wanted to ask you, two-time All-Star, playing with Barry Larkin, as you said, being next to his locker. Your favorite All-Star moment?
Well, I think just the introductions of the first All-Star game, Swings, going out there, seeing all the other guys in the different uniforms. As a kid growing up, that's the thing I look forward to the most about the All-Star game, was seeing all those players in all the different uniforms on the line for introductions. Really special.
Pretty cool.
Votto will be on the line in Kansas City, and he hits this one high and deep to left center. A long way out there. May have been trying to track it. Oh, my! Did he get it? Oh, what a catch by Cameron Maben. Takes a home run away from Votto. Oh, my. And how did he hang on to the ball when he catches his wrist on the top of the fence and somehow manages to squeeze it for a takeaway home run. Spectacular defensive play, then leads off the next inning, almost as if baseball is saying, you come up and take a bow. 17 steps Maben takes to time this move and leap up, and somehow the strength to handle the catch and not lose it when he hits the top of the wall.
Well, if you watched our pregame show, Mark Loretta talked about playing the home runs and robbing a home run. Cameron Maben doing that. Outstanding job. What do you think of that, Mark Loretta?
That was awesome, right on cue, wasn't it? The key there was he knew exactly where he was. He knew the warning track. And like you said, held on when he hit the wall. Pretty impressive.
Now the Mabens and the rest of the Padres have to find a way to score on Cueto. Double play by Alonso in the last inning with 2 on. Padres, interestingly, have hit into only 54 double plays all year. That's the second least in the National League. It sounded like Maben's going to need a new stick as he fouls it away.
Well, with that robbing of the home run, stay tuned on our post-game show. Mike Pomerantz, Mark Loretta going over catching balls at the wall, robbing home runs. You can see that was over the fence. Outstanding catch, probably the play of the year for Cameron Maben and the Padres.
One of the nice catches you showed, and really outstanding catches, was that of Mike Trout in the pregame. So you can just add that to the list. Maben belongs on the top plays. You can bet you're going to see that on the highlight shows on national television tonight. 2-2 the count. And he lines this one down the left field line. Fair ball into the corner. Maben is on his way to second. Ludwig gets the ball in. A double for Maben leading off. Steal a home run and rip a double. Cameron Maben.
Well, that's how you gain confidence as a player. If you make a great play defensively and you're hitting first, you can see this really helps. Cameron Maben getting his foot down. Short, quick swing, pulls his hands in on that baseball. Nice job down the line. Mark Loretta, what do you think of that approach?
Yeah, great job there by Cam. Pulling the hands in, like you said, swing, keeping ball fair. But in the last 10 minutes, Mabe's been responsible for 6 total bases, 4 on defense, 2 on offense.
Great point.
8th double to go with 4 triples to lead the team and 4 home runs for Maben. Fastball, a little extra on that one it seemed, but just at 91. Well, he robbed Votto, who picked up his 100th hit of the season with a single back in the first inning. And of his 100 hits, 49 of them are extra base hits. What a percentage. And is robbed of a home run there. Votto, by the way, has 14 home runs.
You know what's interesting about my vantage point down here is Votto hit that ball and put his head down and started running. I can't tell whether he thought it was a no doubt home run or whether they thought he was going to die on the warning track, and it was kind of in between.
Well, what do you think if it was in Cincinnati? What's the result?
No
Great place to hit.
Although the ball is carrying well here today, no question about it.
Yeah, Cabrera works the count to 3-0. Maven on at second base with the leadoff double. Padres trying to rally, and that's what we talked about, the new hope, the new feel of this team. You know, when you were down 3-0 in the middle of the game, April and May, they didn't do much, but always a chance. These young guys are battlers. 3-1.
You're so right, Dick, and they fight. They've proven to themselves in probably the last month that this is what they have to do. This is how they win ball games. It can be defensively or offensively.
There's not a person in the organization that doesn't have high regard and affection for Nick Hundley. But by sending him to Tucson, a message was also sent to the entire team. Hey, if you're young and play hard and you're going to get base hits, you got a chance to stay up here, and no one's safe here, no matter what your reputation or contract might read.
That is so true, and everyone is pulling for Nick Hundley. But it's about winning ball games and doing your job in the big leagues.
High fly ball down the left field line. Ludwig a long run, and he makes the catch against the wall. There was a foul ball. Tagging and going to third is Maven. Alert play on the bases by Cameron Maven. So Cabrera in his own way moving the runner into scoring position with one out for a possible first run.
Well, if you're going to do the little things and win ball games, this is exactly what you do. Cabrera hits the ball to the left side down the line. It looked like might go foul. Cameron Maven goes back to the base and does a nice job tagging. You can see Ludwig goes towards, it's going to be a foul ball. He does a nice job tagging and advancing with one out. Nice job by Cameron Maven. He needs to get in the third base in that situation, especially with his speed.
Here's Marquis, the pitcher. He lined a single to center field his first time. The infield playing back except for the third baseman Roland. So anything rolled by the mound will get Marquis and the Padres a run. Oh, he hit him. Oh, that didn't sound good at all. That had an ugly sound. The fans are booing. There's no way Cueto's trying to hit the opposing pitcher. But that's the second man he's hit today.
You know, Marquis also being a left-handed hitter, even though he's a right-handed pitcher, that hit his pitching hand, guys.
So that had a bad sound to it.
Cueto has hit 10 batters this year.
Oof.
And we'll see if Marquis okay. They're going to take off that batting glove and make sure.
Well, this is a guy, when you go out there and you talk to him, he does not want to come out of a ball game. He's fine, and he's always going to say that. That makes it very difficult for Paul Navarro that went out there and Bud Black to make that decision. Hopefully that got the bottom knob of the bat as well. But scary situation, like Mark Loretta said, very difficult as a right-handed pitcher and being a left-handed hitter, exposing that elbow and also your pitching hand to those inside pitches.
So one out, runners at first and third. The tying run at the plate to Norfia. He is struck out and grounded out. So Cueto with the 2-hit batsman today. That's 10 for the season, most in the National League. Paul Maholm of the Cubs with 9. Big chance here for the Padres with one out. Runners at the corners. That's interesting. Is Denorfia possible safety squeeze? Lays off the pitch. Got plenty of speed at third. Glenn Hoffman whispering some advice in the ear of his base runner. High strike. 94. A little extra on that one.
Like it was out of the strike zone. High strike.
Brad Brock starts to tune up.
Mark Wegner, our home plate umpire, he thought differently.
Yeah, Fox Track says that was a strike. 2-2. Logan Forsythe would be the next hitter. Three 0 Cincinnati. We're in the last of the fifth. The Padres first and third, one out. And the count full now on the leadoff hitter Denorfia. Here's a big pitch in the game. Full count, first and third.
Well, going back to the fourth inning, Johnny Cueto, what makes him special is he throws that ground ball, getting a double play with that changeup down in the zone. When you have to make a pitch, Johnny Cueto sets himself apart from everybody else because he makes pitches when he needs them, getting that big double play in the fourth.
Another foul, and of course that's what he's looking for here with first and third, and Denorfia battles. Spoils a couple of good strikes. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. I think that's been his top speed of the game.
And you can see he's trying to elevate that fastball up in the way, a different approach to a right-handed hitter. Yonder Alonso in the fourth inning, a left-handed hitter, using that changeup. Just different ways of trying to get that out.
And I'm sure that's part of Cueto's game plan, Sweens, is to feed off the aggressive young hitters here, throwing off-speed pitches and hitters' counts.
Exactly.
Chopped up the middle. The charge by the shortstop for one. Back to first base, not in time. But what a play by the veteran Phillips with a bare hand catch and throw. And Denorfia's hustle just does beat the relay, and the Padres get a run.
Well, what a turn by the Cincinnati Reds. Zach Cozart gives it to Brandon Phillips, who bare hands it. Chris Denorfia hustling down the line, doing a nice job, a good turn. Outstanding play by the Reds middle infield, but outstanding by Chris Denorfia, knowing how important that run is with the fist bump.
No, it's 3-1 Reds. About that, Phillips with a catch and throw all in one motion, and then Votto digging it out at first base. That was some pretty spectacular stuff for the Reds infield. Padres scratch out a run and still have the tying run at the plate in Logan Forsythe, who was grounded out and struck out. Fastball for a strike. 77 pitches now offered by Johnny Cueto. Marquis erased on the fielder's choice, so he gets a chance to rest.
And that's not a bad thing. Starting pitcher, you don't really want to spend a lot of time on the base. It sounds a little odd, but you want to conserve your energy. He maxes out when he's on the pitching mound.
Denorfia with his lead at first base, 1-1 the count. High foul fly off to the right and out of play.
Well, let's go back to Thursday night with a big bomb for Logan Forsythe. Let's take a look. You can draw a line straight down, and that's the leverage that he brings. And then also the path of the bat going through the baseball, getting that backspin and through that power V. You can see inside both the top arm and the bottom arm. Perfect swing for Logan Forsythe. Great moment for the Padres, tying the ball game Thursday night, eventually winning that ball game as well.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to punch that one out right here. It is a matter of geometry and the power force using the lower body. Forsythe. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phillips can't get it. Denorfia on his way to third on a broken bat single for Logan Forsythe. And the Padres have the tying run 90 feet away.
Well, it doesn't always have to be pretty, but you can really understand Logan Forsythe has to battle his way, and this is exactly what he does, driving his legs still, because this ball's down in the zone. You can see the V right here through that, and understanding that he has to fight it off because it is a nasty pitch by Johnny Cueto, keeping the inning alive for the Padres, trying to fight back. We constantly talk about fighting back. Nice job by Logan Forsythe digging that ball out.
Brings up Chase Headley, hit by a pitch and struck out swinging. Ball one.
Guys, just to touch on Logan a little bit more, that's, I think, his third two-strike hit in the last 2 nights. And from my vantage point, you can see a marked difference in his two-strike approach in terms of his stance. He spreads it out. Looks like he may choke up a little bit, which I love, and which I think many of our other hitters could do more of, to be quite honest.
Low 2-0.
Such a good point, Mark. And what did you do with 2 strikes? Did you try to spread out like that just to try to take movement out of the swing?
Absolutely. I wanted to get my foot down as soon as I could, which meant I wanted to spread out a little bit. I'd choke up a little bit, and I was almost thinking off speed and trying to spoil the fastball. That would just keep me back.
Stay a little closer to the plate or not?
Not necessarily, no. But I think whatever your key is, you ought to do something different physically with 2 strikes.
Well, here's a 2-0 pitch for Headley with runners at first and third. Right, it's a fastball. Swung on and missed. It's 2-1.
Well, you can see Johnny Cueto is really throwing more fastballs because he started the game off throwing a lot of off speeds, his changeup, his slider, and now he's trying to change that thought process. That's just pitching. He knows how to attack these hitters.
Right back by the mound. Phillips able to flip it for the force at second base, and the Padres settled for 1. The leadoff double by Maven. He comes around and eventually scores. It's 3-1. Cincinnati. Johnny Cueto, the 9-game winner, the ace on the staff of the Reds, with a brilliant ERA, and he gets the home run support. That's Jay Bruce's bomb, 418 feet to center to make it 2-0, a man aboard. And then Ryan Ludwig followed. The next hitter goes 391 feet into the second deck and left, 3-0. And Joey Votto trying for the home run too, but look at Cameron Maben tracking it down and taking the full bore collision into the wall, and somehow hanging on to that potential home run and bringing it back in the yard. So it's 3-1 as we go to the 6th inning. Brandon Phillips a single and a line out to left. Maben took on that left field fence full bore, didn't he?
He really did. Outstanding play.
Line drive, base hit. Oh, this team has got a lot of good right-handed batters, doesn't it? Leadoff single for Phillips, his second hit. Well, Tuesday, July 17th, a week from this coming Tuesday, Dog Days of Summer, presented by Petco. You enjoy the Padres game against the Astros, and you bring your canine with you at 7:05. And of course, you want to come early to enjoy a dog-tail gate party featuring a variety of pet vendors. Space is limited, so go to petco.com/Petco Park and make your application today. Jay Bruce hit the home run the last time.
Big dog lover. You, Dick?
We don't have. We had a couple of Dalmatians. They both gone off to dog heaven. Our kids are all grown and gone, so we're kind of officially retired now.
I love dogs. So much joy they bring to your life.
They don't care whether the Padres win or lose, or whether you went 0 for 4 or not. Even the Marines love their dogs.
Looked like that dog brought up the lineup card today. Outstanding outfit. Not a big fan of dressing up your dog, but that was an outstanding outfit.
1-1 to Jay Bruce. Hit the ball all the way to the center field fence for an out, and then he cleared the center field fence the last time, 418 feet. Our dog's been gone, I guess, about 3 years. When I take my walk in La Jolla and I come back, I used to get about 4 houses from our own house, and you could hear him barking already. He knew you were coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of, I still, as I'm walking, I'm waiting to hear that bark. Now they're a special part of our lives. And I think even more importantly to the young people, you grow up, it's part of your family. It's like a brother and sister to have a pet that you love.
It's so true. I had a Lassie dog growing up. School bus would drop me off, and I'd see my dog running towards the school bus. Pretty cool. Just those memories that you have and what they bring to your life.
Marquis working on Bruce. Dangerous hitter, as we've seen. Runner goes. Strike at the plate, and easily stealing is Brandon Phillips. It's a changeup, so a good pitch on which to steal, and the count now 3-2.
Well, always a good pitch to run on that 3-1, because Jay Bruce understands if it's in the zone, he's taking a hack.
5th stolen base by Phillips. 41 steals for the Reds as a team. The Padres are second in all of baseball behind Miami in most steals with 74. Ground ball to the first baseman on line. He goes across to Phillips, but his throw is wide and everyone's safe. He made a bold play. Phillips was not expecting the throw. He was more or less jogging over to third, and a good throw would have gotten Phillips easily, but it pulled Headley off the bag, and Phillips mighty fortunate that he's safe. It's a fielder's choice E3.
Well, staying out of the big inning is so important, and Bud Black talks about Yonder Alonso wanting to really make too many aggressive plays. This really isn't a situation you want to do that. Pulling the throw off, Chase Headley off the bag.
You saw Phillips had even stopped there. He was about to get in a rundown, but when the throw was that wide and away, he was able to scamper in.
Well, in that situation, you really want to just take it out. It's a big thing. Jason Marquis goes out.
The official score for the moment is not charged Alonso with an error, just calling it a fielder's choice as Marquis leaves, and Brad Brock has been beckoned from the bullpen. Diego presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by Sequan Casino. Get away for the day at the all-new Sequan Casino, San Diego's destination for casino gaming and excitement. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer. Brad Brock making his second appearance of this series. He worked 2 nights ago, 2/3 of an inning, no runs and a hit. As we welcome you back to Petco Park. And the Reds now, with a single, stolen base, and a fielder's choice, have first and third occupied with no one out. As Alonso, a daring move, crossed to third. He had Phillips, no question. He'd been out on even a decent throw, but the throw was not only high, but pulled heavily toward home plate, and that allowed Phillips, who had stopped, to be able to make a dive into the pool and get to the bag safely.
Yeah, Dick, just an interesting play for me, because with a power left-handed bat, you're playing a little deeper as a first baseman. It was hit hard, but you really need to just take the out there, not, limit the problems and limit that big inning.
Instead of one man on and one out, man at third and one out, now first and third and no one out, and Ludwig, who hammered a 391-foot home run into the upper tier and left the last time, is the batter. Swing and a miss, going for the downs again.
Well, a double play situation is in order, but you really have to limit Brandon Phillips from scoring at third base. So if it's a hard hit ground ball, you can see the middle infielders, they're in still double play depth, but not as deep. Hopefully they can cut them down with a hard, sharp ball hit to them.
Inside and almost clipped the uniform of Ludwig. His 12th home run here before the All-Star break, and the most he hit with the Padres was 11. His first full year.
Well, Dick, with his great years in St. Louis, probably feels very comfortable in the NL Central.
Yeah, that's got to be such a delicious division in which to be a hitter with some power.
Well, it goes into that comfort level that we talked about earlier. When you feel comfortable being in Cincinnati, that'll give you that feeling. But him playing in St. Louis, playing against those parks, in those parks, it's a luxury and it's a comfort feeling as a hitter.
Now Brock ahead on the count, but now is looking at 3-2. Let's see whether or not the Reds send the runner Bruce from first base to stay out of the double play. Yes, they do. Swung on and missed. No throw by Grandal. So Bruce able to walk into second. Big strikeout for Brock. There's one away, and Roland the batter.
Well, you could see Ryan Ludwig falls over the plate. If Yasmani Grandal releases that, it's actually a way that you can, if you make contact with that hitter, if he releases that ball, they might call Jay Bruce out for obstructing.
No, that's a good point. Ludwig did definitely step out over the plate and block his line to throw to second base.
Well, you have to release the ball to get that obstruction call, but it's a very difficult situation being down 3-1. You don't want to launch that ball and have it not be called.
Roland fouls it away. And Brock is ahead of Roland 2 strikes. So this would be quite a challenge for the young right-hander to come in with no one out. First and third, and then second and third. He has struck out Ludwig. Let's see about Roland, who has struck out and grounded out, facing Marquis. Infield draws in. Struck him out. How about that? Brad Brock comes in to retire 2 tough hitters, Ludwig and Roland. And now the infield can move back. It's up to Ryan Hannigan for Cincinnati.
Well, just a straight fastball that elevates Scott Rolen, gets out of the strike zone. Not having those at bats comes into play. Good power fastball by Brad Brock.
Hannigan singled to left and sent a long out to center, and they're not going to mess around with him. They're going to put him on intentionally and take their chances with the pitcher Cueto. Inning started. Phillips with a single, stole second. Then that fielder's choice play, Alonso electing to go to third, trying to throw out Phillips, but didn't get him. No error charge. So first and third, no one out. Strikeout Ludwig. Bruce goes to second on a steal. Then he strikes out Rolen. And now the intentional pass. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and the pitcher coming up. A reminder that you can enjoy a Padres game with your friends and save with Bud's Night Out. You buy one Padres ticket, you get a second ticket at half price on select games and seating areas. Get your tickets today at Padres.com/on-deck. Bud's Night Out. So Cueto, who has 4 hits this year, a couple of RBIs, up there with the bases loaded. He flied to right his last time. Bunts it in the air, foul.
Well, interesting choice right there for Johnny Cueto, trying to catch the Padres defense napping. But it's a force play at any base.
Yeah, right.
It makes it very difficult. You better place it in the right spot.
Yeah, the pitcher can field it. Doesn't have to worry about going to first. He's got a short throw right there at home plate for the force out. 1-1. Well, if Brock can get out of this inning, it'll be about his top grade this season. Come into a very difficult spot. And he's 1 strike away from striking out the side.
And a big time confidence boost. When you're a young player in this game, you're looking for those moments to feel very comfortable in the game. He's been sent down twice. Big situation here for Brad Brock.
There's a highlight effort. Brad Brock in trouble, the Padres. No one out. Runners at second and third. Strikes out Ludwig. Strikes out Rolen. Strikes out Cueto. West Coast time on Fox Sports. San Diego was the site of the '78 All-Star Game. Jack Murphy Stadium. Hometown heroes Dave Winfield, Raleigh Fingers among the National League All-Stars. The game tied at 3 in the 8th when the American League's Goose Gossage threw a wild one that scored the Dodgers' Steve Garvey. And the Nationals would add 3 more in the inning and win the game 7-3. I know some of you folks were at that one.
The graphics have come a long way, haven't they? Those
when
big stars at the beginning.
Yeah, when you look back through all the way to black and white TV, that of all the developments in television and instant replay and all the tape work that the people do, the one element that just jumps out at you is the graphics.
It's come a long way.
Carlos Quinton has struck out and walked today. Grandal and Alonso to follow against Cueto. High fly ball out of play down the right field side, down by the bullpen. And that was fancy stuff in those days.
Fancy stuff.
You know, some artists worked all week to just develop that one graphic. Now with all the technology, you can create something in seconds.
It's like a fifth grader's drawing right there.
1-2 now. The slider off the outside edge.
Now, great job by Brad Brock getting out of that inning.
Fabulous.
Jason Marquis, outstanding effort on short day's rest.
Two and two. Another slider.
Well, they're staying away from Carlos Quentin. They don't want him to change the game, even if it's a solo shot. As these Padres are fighting back, giving themselves opportunities to come back in the game and hopefully winning a game.
Rocky Bow, the changeup. That is strikeout number 5.
Well, Padre fans, check out the Fox Sports San Diego girls, Natalie and Brittany. Update your status and follow them online as they keep you posted on what's happening in San Diego sports. It's easy. Like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Your All Access Pass is just a click away.
Well, I got it now that the whole Twitter thing is an anti-Enberg move. You get to read about that, huh?
This is when Mark says, "How you doing?"
Line drive, base hit to left field. Yasmani Grandal is 2 for 3 today.
And what a pick for Pick the Stick.
Is that your pick?
Why wouldn't it be? Going with the pitch, and I love when he puts his foot down, good base, and the barrel of the bat goes through the baseball. He hits the ball where it's pitched. Anytime you could see a left-hander go the other way, that is a beautiful thing. I'm partial to left-handed hitters.
I can understand that. Yonder Alonso, another lefty up there representing the tying run, as Johnny Cueto has reached the 91 pitch mark. Alonso has grounded twice to the right side, once into a double play last time up. One ball, one strike. Cueto still using that change. He and Eddie Volquez must have talked a lot about how to throw the change. They look very similar, don't they?
Outstanding arm speed from both of those gentlemen. That's the key to throwing the changeup.
Ground ball into right field for a base hit. Grandal will hold at second as Alonso timed that changeup. Found the hole through the right side. The tying run on, 1 out. And Maben the hitter.
Well, sometimes you can get guys to swing over it with arm speed, but this is a little more elevated in the strike zone that Johnny Cueto would like. Great approach by Yonder Alonso, hitting the ball in the hole as a left-hander. That is a huge luxury to have.
The Miami Hurricane connection. Grandal and Alonso back-to-back singles to bring up Maben, who doubled into the left field corner his last time and scored the only Padre run. Maben has scored more than any other Padre. Hit home plate 41 times. He could do it again, but it would take a long one. Votto playing inside the runner at first, surprisingly. Understand that with no one out, but with 1 out. Changeup misses, ball 1. Maben grounded to short. And the double.
Now that was the mistake right there by Johnny Cueto. Throwing that slider. It's elevated in the zone. That's a ball Cameron Maben wants back. Check out this swing. He puts it down and really is elevated just a tad late.
High fly ball to right. Bruce is there. Tag, but Grandal's not going anywhere. And there's 2 out. That'll bring up Everett Cabrera or a pinch hitter. Cabrera's going to hit. We were talking with Marty Brenneman yesterday, and the name of Billy Hamilton came up. Billy Hamilton in the Cincinnati Reds organization is playing at Bakersfield Blaze in 85 games, 103 stolen bases.
Wow.
There's Marty, radio broadcaster for the Reds for nearly 40 years.
I'm sure they're comparing him to Ricky Henderson.
And Vince Coleman, who has the minor league record, 145, right. But Hamilton's going to shatter that if he stays healthy.
That sounds like a September call-up for these guys.
Cabrera, appropriately, as we talk about stolen bases, has set a Padre record with 15 consecutive successful steal attempts. That's the longest streak to start a season ever for a Padre. The old record was 12. When
you expand rosters in September, adding a guy that has that speed element is so important. You know, playing under Tony La Russa, he always liked to have that element late in the games, trying to steal bases and really steal wins.
They say that those that have been around a long time, they've never seen a man faster on the bases than Billy Hamilton. Remember the name. All right, Everett Cabrera, 2 strikes the count. 2 on, 2 out. Line drive, left field, base hit. Grandal is going to have to hold at third. So station to station as Cabrera goes the opposite field. 3 singles here in the 6th inning, but nothing on the board in the run column.
Well, we talk about getting the head of the bat on top of the baseball. This ball is elevated, and you can see right here up in the zone. Cabrera does a nice job getting on top of it, pulling his hands in and driving the baseball to the other way, taking that single.
And that brings up the pinch hitter, Mark Kotze. And the assistant pitching coach comes to the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. They've had both their pitching coaches involved. Brian Rice, who is the regular, and then the assistant pitching coach is Mac Jenkins. Cozart, dust in his eye or trouble with a contact. So a single by Grandal, single Alonso, and a single Cabrera. That's the difference in these makeup of these two teams. Here are the Reds, 1 swing home run, and here are 3 swings, 3 hits, no runs.
Well, great situation for Bud Black, pulling the trigger on Mark Kotze, knowing there's not a left-hander in the bullpen for the Reds. You can peek down there. This is a perfect situation if you're a manager, bringing up your best pinch hitter.
Kotze 6 for 19 with a home run as a pinch hitter. Chance to do some damage in a 3-1 game. Bases full, 2 out. Ball 1. Starts him with the change. We saw LeCure pitch on Thursday night. Ball 2. And this is the exact situation that Josh Burns and the Padres anticipated when they went out and got Mark Kotze.
Well, his resume speaks for itself. Big hits. That's the reason why you see those pitches away to Mark Kotze, not changing the game with a pitch inside.
And that pitch well placed on the outside corner, a fastball, 93. 2-1. Grandal at third, the tying run Alonso at second, Cabrera lead run at first. And the action pitch, 2-1 coming to pinch hitter Kotze. Three and 1. The other part of having experience coming off the bench is not too eager. Make him throw a strike, one that is hittable. He's got to throw a strike now or throw the Padres a run.
Well, you got to look out over the plate if you're Mark Kotze and be able to pull your hands in. He's got the short swing to do that.
Fouled at the plate. Got a piece of catcher Hannigan. Full count. So all 3 runners will get a jump start. A double could score 3 here.
Well, most pitchers without confidence really are coming with a fastball in this situation. Johnny Cueto knows he can throw any pitch at any time. That's the difference. That's the level that Johnny Cueto has.
The runners are off. And the pitch fouled back.
Well, you can see Mark Kotsay a little behind on that fastball. Just being prepared, trying to spoil it. Mark Kotsay said that earlier. With 2 strikes, you spoil those pitches off. Hopefully Johnny Cueto makes a mistake in the strike zone and he can deliver it. That's what you really want to do as a hitter. You want to battle the pitcher's pitch.
Base is full of Padres, and they're off with this delivery. And another good cut. Fouled it back. 106 pitches now for Cueto.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do as a hitter, overthink it. You're fouling balls off. You don't want to get into that mindset of thinking mechanics. Trust yourself, trust what you've done before the game, and then just try to execute with a pitch in the strike zone.
And another foul.
Well, you can see from our Fox tracks, that's the mistake. That's the pitch Mark Kotsay wants back.
He was ready to turn on that one, but the fastball was at 94.
Right in the heart of the plate, a little elevated.
So the last 4 pitches from Cueto, all fastballs, 92, 92, 93, 94. What will he throw here? High, ball 4, and the Padres get a run. 3-2 as Grandal comes in from third.
Well, outstanding at bat by Mark Kotsay, and a bat doesn't have to result in a hit to be successful one. He battled, got into a hitter's position, and did an outstanding job staying in the strike zone. Again, coming through as the pinch hitters. The pinch hitters for the Padres done an outstanding job. Let's take a look at the pitches here. Change up away. Change up away. Getting into that hitter's count, gets the fastball, another fastball, and then they starts elevating these pitches. And Mark Kotsay has to battle until he gets a pitch. And he stays in the strike zone. Nice job, RBI situation, and controlling what he did. Nice job, and also getting Johnny Cueto out of the game.
That's right, a lot of pitches, and Cueto with 108 tosses leaves with a 3-2 lead, but the Padres have a runner over every pillow as Sam LeCure comes in from the bullpen, and Chris Denorfia is the scheduled hitter for the Padres. We'll see whether or not it'll be Denorfia or Will Venable to hit with the bases full. Cueto not happy with himself. A man who carries an ERA the best in baseball the last 2 years. Well, just like we promised earlier in the game, Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And no doubt about the defensive play of this game and of maybe the whole homestand. Cameron Maven, watch him. I mean, that's daredevil stuff.
And that is a game changer right there. Pumping up Jason Marquis, especially against Joey Votto. But that is a game changer, and that's the reason why Cameron Maven is out there patrolling center field here. Is very difficult. If you look out at the grass, that is a big outfield to patrol.
But Johnny Cueto going out at 5 2/3 innings. That's the first time on the entire road trip, 11 games now, where the starter hasn't gone 6 innings or more.
Well, we talk about the fight, Dick, in these Padres, and they've done a nice job. That's exactly what it is. Those small battles in the game, getting a Johnny Cueto out of the game early and try to get to their bullpen isn't a huge accomplishment for a team like the Padres.
LeCure 2-2 in relief with an ERA just under 4. 29 2/3 innings, 28 hits. 3 of those home runs. Denorfia has struck out and grounded into a couple of fielders' choices. The last time got a run home with his ground ball fielder's choice. ever hit a grand slam. Bases full, 3-2 Cincinnati. Hit to shallow right, and Jay Bruce is there for the catch. So DeNorfia first ball hunting, and he flies out. Inning over, 3-2 Reds.
The kids out at the Little League field, Mark Loretta teaching them how to rob the home run. So Cameron Maven, obviously watching from the clubhouse before the game, he'd deliver the goods right there in the fifth. Look at that catch by Cameron Maven. I think Dick makes a great point during the game to make the play, the athleticism, but then having the physical strength to hold on to the ball. We are going to talk about that when we see you in the post-game show. Also on the post-game show today, we showed you some of the best plays of the first half. Well, we asked you to vote on them by text, and we're going to have the results for you. Also, replay those great plays from the first half. We will have that. We're going to break down the ball game, and you're going to hear from the manager, Buddy Black. All that more when we see you after the game. Dick, Mark?
All right, Mike. Sounds like you've got a great post-game show already lined up, and we've got 3 more innings to go. Dale Thayer comes in to work after that terrific job by Brad Brock, coming in with the runner at third base, no one out, and able to strike out the side, keep the Reds at 3 runs. Cozart is 1 for 3 today. He has 20 doubles. So does Yonder Alonso. 20 doubles as a shortstop is the most before the All-Star break, or at least ties the most of any shortstop going all the way back to Nomar Garcia Parra. 1977 had 20 before the break. So
Nomar.
This young guy is doing a good job.
Yeah, that's
top spot.
9 home runs to that too, Dick. This young player is very excitable, and the Reds are very excited about him.
Lines that one, and that might be number 21. It certainly will be at least a double as Quinton goes into the corner to dig it out, and Cozart takes a big turn and then retreats. Number 21. So that is the most by a rookie shortstop before the break, period, ever. That's making a statement, isn't it, this 26-year-old?
Well, he continues to just hit the ball where it's pitched, the ball in, drives the ball down the line. This gets it tricky down that left field corner with Carlos Quinton. It can rattle around down there, very difficult. You really got to see the ball where it ricochets. Carlos Quinton does a nice job getting him in, holding him to a double.
Drew Stubbs has struck out 3 straight times. Infield looking for the sacrifice. Alonso will be charging hard from first base. He did not try, says first base umpire Wally Bell. Stubbs, home run last night and a RBI and a ground ball. 1-1. 3-2 Cincinnati with a leadoff double by Cozart here in the 7th.
Well, with the 3 strikeouts by Drew Stubbs, this is a sacrifice situation for Dusty Baker. Just the results of the game, playing the scoreboard, trying to add a run for the Cincinnati Reds.
They just do get him at first base. The speedy Stubbs on the sacrifice. For a moment, it looked like there might be a chance for that one bunted high in the air to be caught, but he was able to wedge it into the grass for the sacrifice, and over to third goes Cozart.
Looked like Dale Thayer had an opportunity to catch this baseball. Didn't really know where Chase Headley was. Zach Cozart had to freeze because the ball was bunted in the air. They end up getting the out at first.
Votto's not going to get a chance to hit. He is singled, struck out, and robbed by Maben of a home run his last time up. And he is being walked intentionally for the 13th time. That's the most of any player in the National League. And ball 4. Let's go back to the bunt. Let's see what choices were possible. Thayer.
Yeah, it just looked like it bunted over Dale Thayer's head. As a right-hander falling off to the first base side, looked like his feet got tangled up. And Chase Headley has to be aggressive in that, getting it out, especially with the speed of Drew Stubbs getting down the line.
So Brandon Phillips up. A couple of base hits and a line out to left. Breaking out of an 0 for 9 spell and a tough road trip, 6 for 36. First and third, and Phillips does hit into double plays, 13 of them this year. That leads the Reds. Slider, 1-1. Jay Bruce on deck. They are trying to pitch out of trouble here in the top of the 7th. With the Reds leading 3-2 and runners at first and third, 1 out. That's a strike with a fastball at 93. Phillips didn't like it. Phillips high in praise of the All-Star and Hall of Famer to be Barry Larkin. It was his model and inspiration as a young player coming up with the Reds. Ground ball squeaks through the right side. A run scores. It's 4-2. 3 consecutive hits for Brandon Phillips. Didn't hit it hard, but found the opening between first and second. And the Reds add a big run as Cozart comes in to score.
Well, with the luxury of having that right side open with first baseman holding the runner on. Nice job by Brandon Phillips, pulling his hands and trying to get inside the baseball and hit it through that hole. Just good piece of hitting. RBI situations. Brandon Phillips done a nice job this year, leading all second basemen in the National League.
So out comes Bud Black, and that'll be it for Thayer, who gives up a double, a walk, and a single, and an added run here in the 7th. So with 1 out and 2 runners on, Joe Thatcher will be coming in from the bullpen, and we get to go around the major league. Starlin Castro, 2 for 4 for the Cubs in their 7-0 win today. The outstanding young shortstop Andrew McCutchen and the Red Hot Pirates, 3 for 5 for McCutchen. They bomb out the Giants 13-2 today. Heath Bell, another rough outing for Miami, gives up 3 earned runs, and the Marlins lose to the Cardinals 5-4.
Anytime I see something like that happening with the Marlins, I always think about the soundbite for Ozzie Guillen. What's he going to say after the game? You know, that team was built to win. They spent a lot of money in the offseason trying to bring a winner to South Florida. Big signing by Heath Bell. And a difficult first half by Heath.
He's not been the consistent Heath Bell that we saw the last 3 years. Well, Monday on Fox Sports San Diego, you can catch the Padres Weekly with Annie Heilbrunn. Inside look at how the Padres are preparing for the road ahead as we go to the second half of the season. Players and coaches, staff, and local legends. Padres Weekly has you covered at all corners. Monday at 8 on Fox Sports San Diego. Thatcher completing his warm-ups, inherits runners at first and second, and 1 out, and Jay Bruce, the hitter. Pittsburgh, I would have to rank them as one of the big surprises in baseball this year. 13 runs and 17 hits as they take out the Giants. The Dodgers, meanwhile, are losing 5-0 in the 7th at Arizona. Colorado won 4-3 at Washington.
Well, going back to Pittsburgh, Clint Hurdle's doing an outstanding job. Lost his job in Colorado. Got another opportunity after being a hitting coach in Texas. He's getting those guys to play every day. The consistency leading that division.
Jay Bruce, a long out to center, a 2-run home run to center. And he was safe on the fielder's choice. That was the play where Alonso elected to throw across to third base to try to get Phillips, and his throw was errant. Strike one. So Bud Black using Thatcher, the left-hander, on the left-handed hitter Bruce, who now has 18 home runs and 56 runs batted in this year.
Well, every time I see Joe Thatcher, I think of how nasty it would be to see that arm angle from a left-handed hitter's perspective.
Popped up. Headley, glasses down, and just out of room. 3 rows back. Four to 2. The Reds picking up a run here in the 7th. Kokomo Joe trying to take care of Jay Bruce. Runners at first and second. Strikes him out. 3 pitches and down goes Jay Bruce.
Well, let's take a look at the perspective from the hitter. This is pretty nasty coming from down under with that slider from Joe Thatcher. Outstanding pitch. That's what you have to do, speed him up with the fastball and then throw that slider.
It's interesting, isn't it, that we all had to take the course geometry in high school, but the geometry of baseball, from the markings on the field, you show to the hitter, the geometry there, the angle of the pitcher. Good stuff. Broken bat, and Forsythe is right there to capture the soft fly off the bat of Ryan Ludwig. Good job by Thatcher. Quells a possible big inning for Cincinnati. It's 4-2. We're at the stretch half of the 7th, and we're going to join with the fans here at Petco Park, the 7th inning stretch. The Marines and the singing of God Bless America.
Please stand in honor of our troops and their families. And welcome Marine Staff Sergeant Tamika Elliott, who just returned from deployment on the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Please sing along as she presents God Bless America.
America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless
Elliott, staff sergeant, and having just been deployed in the Middle East to come back and sing that lyric, God Bless America, you felt it all the way to the core, didn't you?
What a beautiful voice. It's an outstanding job.
LeCure, we got the final out with the bases loaded. In the last of the 6th inning, faces Forsythe, Headley, and Quinton here in the bottom of the 7th. Logan with a looping hit to right the last time up.
Well, with Sam LeCure, you're going to get a fastball, slider, curve, and change. He has good arm side run to both sides of the plate, likes to throw his slider and his curveball.
Luke Gregerson getting ready in the Padres pen. Good eye, 2-1.
A pretty good pitch right there.
LeCure is 27. Actually, just turned 28 a month ago. Capital city of Missouri, Jefferson City. And a good at bat so far. Forsythe works the count to 3-1.
Well, the Padres have to continue to try to get traffic on the base paths, giving themselves more opportunity to score runs. And the belief of it happening for them is definitely around.
And he works a leadoff walk. Always a good sign if it's your team that gets the leadoff walk and you're not giving it to the other. Hey, don't miss the summer Sky Blast. That's going to be Saturday, July 21st. The Padres and the Rockies will play at 5:35. And the Padres, they say that this is going to be the biggest fireworks show in Petco Park history. So get your tickets at Padres.com. Again, the date Saturday, July 21st against Colorado. Sean Marshall starts to throw in the bullpen as the Padres have the tying run at the plate in the form of Chase Headley. Headley is hit by a pitch, struck out, and grounded out. Fastball misses, ball 1. Forsythe, leadoff walk. Marshall has appeared in 2 of the 3 previous games of this series. High fly deep down the left field line and curling foul. Ludwig running out of room in that little piece of pie of foul territory. Headley back to the plate, a ball and a strike. Now the Padres will resume play after the All-Star break in Los Angeles against the Dodgers next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then they come right back home. And we'll entertain the Astros for 4 and the Rockies for 3.
Well, look at, you haven't faced Sam LeCure, so Carlos Quinton wants a bird's eye view. He wants to try to get in that left-handed batter's box as well. You can see how close he is. If you don't see a pitcher, you want to try to see if you can pick out some little details to a guy that you haven't seen before.
Headley can feel Quinton's breath. He's so close. 2-1. And another foul off to the left.
I think he's just adding some support for Chase Headley. Tell him all you need to do is get on. Take a chance at a 3-run home run. Wouldn't that be nice?
It's a Marines Appreciation Day this Sunday, but the Navy's always welcome at Petco. Trying to stir up a rally, down 4-2. Forsythe with his lead at first base.
Fastball in.
And another foul. that news in the All-Star game. C.J. Wilson will not be able to go to Kansas City, and Jake Peavy is going to replace him on the American League roster. Good for the former right-hander with the Padres.
Now Jake Peavy battling ankle injuries, just being healthy this year. Had a real nice year. Good for him.
You bet. I just love the way that man pitched.
Bulldog.
They took it right out of my mouth. He really is a bulldog. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Struck him out. Off-speed curveball, and Headley goes down for the 87th time this year.
Well, just a nice breaker by Sam LeClaire, getting down in the strike zone. That pitch looks like a strike, gets out of the zone.
LeClaire, one of the many players to come out of that University of Texas program into the big leagues. Quinton struck out, walked, struck out. A little low, the slider. He grew up in a big family, Mark.
3 older brothers. Great examples. Mom and dad in Massachusetts.
Well, LeClaire grew up in Texas. Double that, 8 in his family. He was the last one, so he had to scramble to get his dessert.
How about that dinner table?
Another slider.
Well, you learn quickly. The food's on the table, you grab it.
Yeah, the rule at the farm was, clean your plate, no dessert.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have to be urged to clean the plate because there weren't a lot of second helpings. 1-1 to Quinton. 1-2. Fastball, 90 miles an hour, well spotted. That is a pitcher's pitch. One out. Forsythe leadoff walk. 4-2 Cincinnati. Reds with 2 home runs. And if you ask Joey Votto, it should have been 3, but Cameron Maben stole one from him with that brilliant catch in left center. Two balls, 2 strikes. Quinton with 7 home runs.
Well, he's thrown in 1 fastball in this at bat. Lots of sliders. Carlos Quinton's looking for that mistake, but you still have to stay on the fastball. His right center approach helps that.
And the count is full. Marshall just standing on the mound down in the bullpen watching the action. He's one when ready. Don't want to throw too many pitches. You got the 7 when you come in the game. You really have to monitor that as a reliever. Big pitch here, full count with a runner at first, and Quinton the potential tying run. Got a fastball, and Quinton a fastball hitter.
Well, much like Mark Kotze's at bat, getting 2 strikes, fouling that fastball off. Hopefully getting a mistake pitch with a 3-2 count. But he knows he threw a lot of sliders to him, so you have to, that's in the back of your mind. That chess game, always fun to watch.
And another out of play. Another fastball. Yasmani Grandal, the only Padre with 2 hits today, is on deck. Notice he was warming up with a right-handed swing, anticipating that perhaps Marshall might come in, so he's got to be ready from both sides.
Exactly.
Again, a 3-2 pitch. Forsythe ready to roll at first base. And it's another walk from LeCure. A fastball misses outside. Couple of walks set the table for the Padres. The tying run is on, and Dusty Baker can't like this move at all.
Well,
brings in a reliever, and he walks 2 men.
He throws him 2 sliders to lead the bat off. Then he goes with a fastball that's called on the outside corner. And then he goes back to the slider just off the plate. And then Carlos Quentin has to battle these fastballs up in the zone. Then he gets a pitch off the plate. Nice at bat by Carlos Quentin, staying in the zone. And also LeCure staying away from that powerful bat by Carlos Quentin.
A couple of borderline pitches that went the Padres' way. Chris Heisey comes into the game in left field, as Sean Marshall will be the new relief pitcher, as Dusty Baker works the double switch. Charlie Sheen, the actor, threw out the ceremonial first pitch last night, hobnobbing with the Cincinnati Reds during batting practice.
Well, in Padres gear yesterday, now he's going with the Cincinnati Reds gear. Looks like he's a little scared of that one. Yeah, he's going to take that home. Catches it, puts it in his back pocket. Yeah, it's always fun. Put a major league uniform on.
Just to shag flies, you know, for someone like Sheen, normal bloke, it's great fun. So as Marshall warms up with runners at first and second and 1 out here in the Padres 7th inning, here's a look ahead. The Dodgers next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon, and then night games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against Houston, and then on Thursday, that also is a night game. The Wednesday game is a day game, so night, Monday, Tuesday, day game 12:35 on Wednesday, a night game on Thursday, then Colorado for the weekend. The Saturday game is 5:35 and the usual 1 o'clock start on Sunday.
We'll probably see Matt Kemp in the lineup for the Dodgers on that Friday the 13th. You know, big game today for the Padres to go into the break, coming out of it and playing the first place Dodgers.
And to stay ahead of Colorado. The Rockies won 4-3 to stay out of last place, and with both the Dodgers losing and the Giants already have lost, the Padres pull within 12 games of first place here at the break. I mean, they were 19 down at one time. So this is an opportunity, and maybe this is the inning as Grandal turns it around and hits right-handed. Left-handed, fly to center and singled twice. Scored one of the Padre runs. And Marshall appearing again, 3 of the 4 games of the series. Comes with a fastball, 90 miles an hour. He gave up the home run, the pinch hit home run on Thursday night that tied the game. Logan Forsythe with a homer. Arroyo complete game shutout on Friday. He pitched last night 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run and 3 hits. Throws a lot of sliders.
Well, he has that sweeping breaking ball that some of the Padre hitters swung over. Yasmani's just looking for that, either that fastball approach or that mistake breaking ball in this situation.
Making home run major league history, Grandal. Curveball around the plate. 2-1. Well, the Padres given an opportunity here by some generous pitching in the 7th. Couple of walks. And Grandal awaiting the 2-1. Three and one.
That's that cutter, shorter slider that Sean Marshall has, just trying to change that approach. Really wanted to throw a strike there. Yasmani Grandal in a good hitting situation here.
No one throwing in the Reds bullpen. Fans sensing a chance here. 3-1. Carve into that 4-2 Cincinnati lead.
When you're in a hitter's count, you can pick a side of the plate and really get after it.
Ball. Oh, a late call strike by Mark Wagner. He waited and makes it 3-2. That was a borderline pitch. Let's see where that landed.
Well, I think that's off the plate. Goes right around it. Mark Wagner's done a nice job today with a strike zone. Looked like a little off there.
So the count full with 2 on. Right down the middle there. And that was a clear strike, and Grandal caught looking.
Well, that's a situation where the pitch before you knew was a ball. This one right down the middle of the plate. That's a strike. But you're walking back to the dugout knowing you missed a big opportunity, and all you can think about is that called second strike.
Yep. Bases could have been loaded with 1 out, but now 2 on, 2 out. Alonso a single in 3 at bats. And he's actually hit better throughout the year against left-handed pitching. Check swing on the fastball.
Well, the Padres have had 6 free passes today. Unfortunately, none have scored so far. Need that big hit.
Four walks and 2 hit batsmen for the 6 free tickets. Forsythe at second. Quinton at first. Padres today are 1 for 8 runners in scoring position. This would be a terrific time to change that number. Hannigan and Marshall going over their All-Star holiday plans. Now back to work.
And oh, what a feeling that is after the game. Knowing you have time off.
Yeah, for the players, 3, sometimes 4 days off. That's just an eternity
Yeah,
after
it feels
playing
like
every day, every day,
really
every
does.
day, every day. A relentless schedule. Inside again, 2-0.
Well, I always said, Dick, mediocre players like me could really plan their All-Star break.
You weren't worried about some manager calling you up and saying, gee, we'd like to have you as our pinch hitter.
And I wasn't even in a fan vote. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We really relished our off time.
On the corner. Oh, he's really picking the edges. 2-1.
Well, not a time for Mark Wagner to expand the strike zone. Our Fox track says this is a little bit off the plate. Pitcher's pitch, but that looked like a little bit out of the zone. As you can see, just off the plate.
But if just a thread hits that corner, it's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to Alonso. High fly. Easy chance. Third baseman Roland in foul territory. And the Padres get a couple of walks. Can't take advantage. We go to the 8th. It's still 4-2. Here's the home run back-to-back in the fourth inning. A two-run blast by Jay Bruce, his 18th of the year, and then former Padre Ryan Ludwig hammered one up into the upper tier and left 391 feet. And that gave the Reds a 3-0 lead that they've never relinquished. And here's Joey Votto's ball. Is it a home run? No! Cameron Maven makes a terrific catch in left center field to rob Votto of a home run. Mark Kotze, that's Johnny Cueto, not at all happy as he walked the bases loaded. Run for Kotze, the pinch hitter. And the Reds have added a run in the seventh inning on the single by Brandon Phillips, his third hit of the game. So 4-2 as we go to the eighth. The Padres have left 7 men on base the last 3 innings. They've had chances.
Opportunities, Dick. They have to capitalize on those to win ball games.
Luke Gregerson, the 5th pitcher used by Bud Black, comes in the 8th. He's been the workhorse this year for the Padres. 42nd game. Starts with a fastball. Scott Rowland, then Ryan Hannigan in the pitcher's spot. I assume that Heisey, yes, Heisey is in that 9th spot in the order. Rowland plunked on a slider that didn't break. So he's on to start this 8th inning.
Well, not a typical day for Luke Gregerson coming into a ball game down 2 runs. Usually you're up 2 runs. This slider gets away from him, backs up into Scott Rowland.
Hannigan has singled in 2 trips, a long out to center, and was intentionally walked his last time up.
And Dick, when I talk about backing up, it's a slider that really doesn't slide. It goes the other direction because it comes out of their hands and doesn't have that normal break.
So it has almost a screwball effect. Spins the opposite direction. Nice bunt by Hannigan. Put out made 1-3. And you can credit Hannigan with a sacrifice. So Heisey and the leadoff man Cozart will have a chance to add to the 4-2 lead. At Arizona, the D-backs leading now 7-0 over the Dodgers in the 8th. Again, the Giants took a whipping in Pittsburgh 13-2 today. Colorado edged Washington 4-3. The Reds are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position in this game, but the 2 big home runs accounting for 3 runs. Back to the mound. Gregerson looks the runner back. Cozart out, 1-3.
Well, I think that 1 for 11 now with runners in scoring position has a lot to do with the Padres pitching. Brad Brock, Joe Thatcher doing a nice job today. Luke Gregerson right there. This is a big situation you don't want to add on. And that's the reason why Luke Gregerson is in the ballgame for Bud Black.
Drew Stubbs has struck out 3 times and sacrificed. He too a former Texas Longhorn. And a 2-time academic All-America at the University of Texas. Stubbs, native of Atlanta, Texas, was the #1 pick out of college, 8th overall in the 2006 draft. Ground ball to short. Cabrera skips and throws just within reach of Alonso, who toe dances on the bag. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Maven will lead it off for the Padres. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And welcome back. Petco Park on this brilliant Sunday afternoon. 24,032, including recruits from Camp Pendleton. The Marines appreciated today as we each Sunday salute the military. We Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, Marines today. Maven, a double and a great defensive play. Sean Marshall will face Maven Cabrera in the pitcher's spot. Padres leaving 2 on in the 5th, 3 bases loaded in the 6th, 2 more in the last inning. Running out of time. Logan on the second is pitched also in 2 of the 3 games of this series, getting loose. Maven taking all the way, 2-1.
Just taking a pitch there, trying to get on. That's the big key for Cameron Maven, much like in the 5th inning when he led off with a double.
2-2. Strike 3. Caught looking again. Curveball. Maven didn't get a swing in that at bat. Earlier today in the pregame show, catches at the wall. The youngsters out there being schooled by Mark Loretta how to get to the fence, and then Cameron Maven shows you how to do it big league style. And that'll be part of the discussion on Padres Live to follow our game coverage today from Petco.
Just a little bigger fence out there for Cameron Maven.
Everett Cabrera bunts, and Hannigan able to catch it on the fly for the out. 2 away. Jesus Guzman will be the pinch hitter.
Just a situation where Cabrera's trying to get on as well. And bunts the bottom part of the baseball. You can see his barrel drops down. Nice job by Hannigan getting out of the box and catching that little pop-up.
If he didn't quite get there, then Cabrera has a base hit. But good reactions by Hannigan. We talk again the demands of that position. And there was another example as Guzman is introduced. Out comes Dusty Baker, and he's going to counter with the right-hander who's been loosening up, Logan Andrusek. You're going to leave him in. He just wanted to go out and make sure that he had an idea of how they want to pitch Guzman. Base is empty, and a 2-run lead for Cincinnati. And I wonder if we'll see in the 9th inning the lanky left-hander, Aroldis Chapman. Houston Street on his way as the representative of the Padres to Kansas City in the All-Star game. Must be tough to read that breaking ball. A lot of, in the 3 times he's pitched in the series, the Padres take a lot of cold strikes.
Well, tall left-hander coming from a different release point. Must look like it gets away from him out of his hands from the hitter's perspective.
You saw Aroldis Chapman, who struck out the side last night to preserve the 6-5 win for Cincinnati. 102 miles an hour tops, but he threw 105 here last year, or 2 years ago. Ground ball to third for Guzman, rolling across to Votto. Big inning, and a 1-2-3 inning for Sean Marshall. Great action again here on U.S. Marine Day at Petco Park on this Sunday. As we're on to the top of the ninth, and Houston Street takes the mound for the Padres, who've been perfect in saves, 13 of them, and has a couple of wins as well this year. And going to the All-Star game, and Layla Rahimi, there's a nice little story regarding how he got the news.
Yeah, Houston found out that he was making the All-Star team, Dick, last Sunday in Colorado, and when Buddy Black told him, the first thing Houston said was, "Come give me a hug." And Buddy said he was surprised that Houston reacted the way he did until he realized that Houston hadn't been an all-star before. Buddy said that he knew at one point in his career Houston had led the league in saves at the all-star break and was a bit surprised that he hadn't been an all-star up until this point. But Houston really excited, and Buddy a little bit surprised that it hadn't happened sooner.
So, did he get the hug?
He did get a hug. In fact, he got a couple. Houston was hugging everybody that day.
I'll bet. Line drive just fair off the bat of Drew Stubbs into the left field corner, and Stubbs is around first to second. Having trouble fielding the ball is Quinton, so Stubbs keeps right on going, and he's into third. Boy, there is that speed, tremendous speed of Stubbs. A sprinter in high school, relay man, and he has a triple.
Well, not too many guys have a second gear. Nice swing, nice approach, hitting the line drive down the third base line. I said earlier it's tough when it gets in the corner, but he has that third gear. Getting into third base, looking like he's just jogging out there, but man, can he run.
And taking that turn at second base, not slowing down, and he had a chance to put on the brakes should the ball have been carried more cleanly to Quinton. It's tough down in that left field corner, a lot of funny bounces. So a runner at third, no one out, so the infield will draw in. Joey Votto. Well, it's a tough situation. You got a 350 hitter up there, and you got to bring the infield in and give him even more area in which to hit. A single and robbed of a home run. Wouldn't surprise me if Street is just going to pitch around him here, not give him anything. It is scored a triple for Stubbs.
Well, like you said, Dick, not a comfortable feeling as an infielder moving in when you hear the line drives coming off of Joey Votto's bat.
Votto single to center in the first, struck out in the third. Robbed of the home run by Maven on that leaping catch in left center in the fifth, and he was intentionally passed the last time up. Brandon Phillips has been the hitting star along with the home run hitters Bruce and Ludwig. Phillips 3 hits on deck. Slider 2-2.
That's what I love about Houston Street. He's not going to give in. He's going to try to locate and really change speeds. That's how he attacks hitters.
He changes there at 80 miles an hour, and that change up. Count goes full. Stubbs with the leadoff triple. Miles Michaelis now throwing in the Padre bullpen. Ball gets away, and Stubbs will hold at third as Votto walks again. 65th time he's walked this year, more than any National Leaguer. Well, Friday, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Excuse me, Tuesday, as baseball's greatest stars battle. As you know, the All-Star game is Tuesday. It's 4:30 here on Fox. Major League's best players in action. Phillips with first and third occupied after lining out to left. He has singled 3 consecutive times, scored a run, drove in a run, and gets that one down the bullpen area. Slider. No one out, first and third, and the Reds trying to add to their 4-2 lead.
With Chapman warming up in the bullpen, you really can't afford another run if you're a Padre.
1-1. With his 3 hits today, Brandon Phillips has jumped his average up to 281. Chapman listed at 6'4". He pitches as if he's 6'9". He has such a long
stretch. He releases that ball. It almost like a Randy Johnson feel.
Pops him up. Grandal, does he have room? No, it's going to come back about 2-3 rows over the screen. Fans in the upper deck booing the fans in those expensive seats down there for not making a clean play. Hey, we can buy a dozen of these.
Exactly.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Don't minimize the importance of the people occupying those seats.
Exactly.
They're paying for a lot of salaries. 1-2. High pop up, but the infield end makes that a tougher play for Forsythe, but he positions himself so that Stubbs can't tag and come in. 1 away. I don't know if that was ever called an infield fly. Our Carl's Jr. star of the game, Jay Bruce, immense power to straightaway center field. Bruce's 18th home run of the season, among the league leaders, a 2-run shot that started the scoring today. 1 for 4 overall. He sent Maben all the way to the center field wall in the first time at bat. Let's see how the infield plays here. 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Looks like they're going to put him on.
Load him up and give yourself a chance at every base, and also bring up a right-handed hitter. Ryan Ludwig is on deck.
So Todd Frazier.
Oh, he's come out of the dugout, has he?
Well, another one of those young hitters that Cincinnati Reds are super excited about.
Well, we've seen plenty from him in this series. Frazier, he was 2 for 3 last night, a 2-run homer, walked and scored. Or that was 2 nights ago. He had a double and a single and scored 2 runs last night. So 4 runs from Frazier in the last 2 games. Bases are loaded.
Well, add some style to your summer wardrobe with a pair of exclusive Padres sunglasses. Watch your Padres battle the Astros Thursday, July 19th at 7:05 and receive a pair of Padres sunglasses presented by Knockaround Sunglasses. Get your tickets today at Padres.com or dial 619-795-5555.
Interesting decision here by Dusty Baker. He's got a man, Ryan Ludwig, who has hit a home run today. Elects to go to the... No, that was the double switch. So actually Frazier is batting for the pitcher here. So that's not so interesting after all. It's the logical. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the Padres induce a ground ball here. The middle infield, they'll back off, play just beyond the baselines, look for the double play up the middle should a ball be hit there. And that's a strike.
We talked to Tom Brenneman today about Todd Frazier because he's impressed us as well. This is a Little League hero. Toms River, New Jersey. That's where he came into baseball, and as they won a championship.
Yeah, they beat Japan. Yeah. 1-1.
Much like an ex-Padre, Sean Burroughs.
I think Brian Sipe, of course, a great player in the NFL, San Diego State. He was on a Little League team that went to the finals. I think they won the year Sipe was playing.
Man, I love watching Little League World Series.
I mean, they're so good at such a young age. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. That was the Houston Street Slider. Stubbs at third with the leadoff triple. Votto walked. He's at second. Intentional pass to Bruce. He's at first. Houston Street trying to dig out of this bases loaded jam. One out. Weak swing and a miss as Frazier fooled by the slider, 2 away.
Well, we always say Houston Street's not that guy that's going to blow you away. He's going to locate. He's going to change speeds. Todd Frazier fooled with that slider. Houston Street continues to impress.
Here comes Scott Rowland, so the veteran now with the bases loaded. He struck out twice, grounded out, hit by a pitch the last time. Cued off the end of the bat.
You know, we talked to Houston Street earlier in the week, congratulated him on the All-Star appearance. I said, how's your family feel? He goes, man, they're all going. They're all going to be there.
Good.
You know, such a well-spoken guy and just a great teammate. We're proud of him.
Great family. Dad, an All-America football player at Texas. I'm sure he'll be up in Kansas City as well. James Street. 1 strike on Rowland. And another foul. Now Houston Street a pitch away from getting out of this difficult spot that was created by the leadoff triple by Drew Stubbs.
Well, Darren Balsley and Bud Black have to be very impressed the way their pitchers have competed today. Constantly talk about keeping them in the ball game. They've done a nice job at that. Hopefully Houston Street can get out of this jam.
One and two as he wastes that slider. Bottom of the 9th inning, the Padres will hit from the top of the order. Denorfia, Forsythe, Headley. But Black trying to will this final out here in the top of the 9th with the bases full. Two and two. Like so many relievers, he's fidgety. Got all the little licks his fingers every touch the cat. Another lick, another wipe.
Very methodical in what all the stuff that he does.
2 and 2. And now a 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded. Some of the clubhouse umpires didn't like that call. They'll all be off. 3 and 2. There they go. Struck him out. How about that? It's almost as if, hey, I'm a relief pitcher. Put a guy on third with a leadoff triple. Then I'm under pressure. That's what I like. He strikes out. Rowland with a bases loaded. last chance as they trail 2-2 against the Reds, and Aroldis Chapman comes in to pitch. And on the pregame show, we ask you to identify your favorite moment from the first half of the Padres season. Was it Clayton Richard dash home with the winning run after his pinch hit single against the Angels? Was it Forsythe, a defensive gem and a walk-off against the Giants? Amarista's grand slam, or Grandal's 2 home runs in his first major league start, one right-handed, one left-handed? And keep texting right now. Forsythe's play, how brilliant it was. And then a walk-off home run is your favorite. But the balloting will continue. We'll give you the results in the post-game show.
I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those plays. But man, was that impressive with Logan Forsythe. Coming off an injury and really doing a nice job.
Chapman struck out the side in the 9th inning last night. Topped out at 102, slowing down. I guess maybe it's the day game. 98 on that first one. In fact, his license plate is 102 mph. Denarfi, a good cut at that one. 97.
He might have to change his license plate on a few of these pitches.
He said last night he's obviously very proud, and should be, of his high velocity. He's got 105 miles an hour and a flaming tattoo baseball on his wrist. And then he throws you that slider at 88. Denorfia 0 for 4. He's driven in a run with a ground out. Chop to third. Easy play for Roland. 1 away. Logan Forsythe, a single and a walk. He's 1 for 3. He hits the century mark with that one. Ripped foul. Well, the Padres getting the bat on the ball here today. It's something they did not accomplish last night.
Well, if you can turn around a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, that's saying something. Impressive by Logan Forsythe. Just straighten that out a little bit. Goes a long way if you put the barrel on it. You can even see that's off from Fox Tracks there.
All the way to the screen. That's like to burn a hole in the webbing.
You
right at our camera.
You want to be a big league hitter? Check this out. This is uncomfortable. That's when you back out of the box and say, please throw a strike.
Comes back with a slider, a hard slider. We talked before about he's 6'4", but he takes such a long stride and he's so whippy. When that ball leaves his hand, he's about 52 feet from the plate. That's fouled away by Forsythe.
Well, he's hovering right around 100 miles an hour now. After those first few pitches, he's getting loose at 98.
Padres need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate here in the last of the ninth. Inside and low, 3-2. Been a good bat, good at bat, and Forsythe, I guess it seems like we're repeating ourselves every time he comes up. It's a good at bat.
Well, you got to definitely say that you're real happy. This is a good story for the first half for the Padres. and what he has done for the middle infield defense and also offensively as well.
Struck him out, however, as he swung through a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and the Padres down to their final out, and Chase Headley comes up. His 12-game hitting streak at risk.
We talked about last night, has that elevated fastball that's real tough to get on top of the baseball. It almost seems like, if you remember that track ball when you were younger, that ball just takes off. Real difficult to get on top.
Headley hit by a pitch and struck out twice and grounded out. A little high, ball one. Trying to get on there for Quinton.
So as a hitter, you really got to set your sights lower in the strike zone. Right there.
Looked pretty good. Right on the knees of Headley, but called a ball, 2-0. His problems a couple years ago and even last year were he'd have streaks of wildness. Ground ball, foul on a broken bat.
And this isn't easy for Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, because of location. Him being up in the zone, he throws one and shakes our camera. They're not used to this as well, so tracking that ball, it's a tough situation for all parties.
So a new stick for Headley. To the control versus strikeouts, Chapman's walked only 12 men this year and struck out 70.
That
70
is impressive
in 39 innings. And the Padres down to their final strike. Headley fouling off that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Good play made by a fan, young fan. Strike three called, and the ball game ends on strike three. Aroldis Chapman, 2 games in 2 days. 6 batters, 5 of them struck out, and the Cincinnati Reds have taken this series 3-1. The victory today by a score of 4-2. Mike Pomerantz, we got a good post-game show coming up.
Bet we do, guys. We got it full for you for sure. We'll talk about the Reds' home runs. That doesn't surprise anybody, but you will get to learn how to rob those home runs yourself. Mark Loretta with a little instructional for you young players and coaches. We'll have that. We'll have Dick Enberg's interview with the Colonel, Jerry Coleman, and you'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black. We'll see you in a few moments.